Hello, my name is Dante Renee, and welcome to the 10 Room Bizarro YouTube page where I talk about films that I believe need to be talked about more. Like tonight's film, this is 1983's Let's Talk Sex. Let me see if I can get that without a glare. There's the poster for it, and this is part of Vinegar Syndrome's big 2-unit show, Peakorama, and this just got released actually with Nasty Nurses, which I'll be looking at in sometime in the future. And this is the back here. Let me turn around as much as I can. Not easy, but we can see a couple shots just for this film at the bottom here. Vinegar Syndrome puts out these Peakorama big 2-unit shows, and it's so freaking great. Very, very unknown films. This is called Let's Talk Sex, 1983, directed by Paul Vitelli, and it says the ultimate in phone fantasy. Okay, look at that. We're about to enter into this awesome 79-minute film, and this is scanned and restored in 2K from 35mm negatives. Amazing. Okay, so let's get into this film right here, folks. I mean, extremely unknown. And it says in the back here that Paul Vitelli was one of the last workhorse filmmakers in the hardcore's theatrical era. So, this film deals possibly a lot with the phone sex craze of all those infomercials that you would see late at night back in the day. And that is kind of the central theme of the film, dealing with a phone sex business, but it's going to be done in a way that is that I believe you would not conceive of in its relation to fantasy and reality, and also kind of feminism in a way. So let's get into this film. Let's talk sex, folks. And I got a lot of notes here, so you'll see my eyes divert because I don't want to miss anything. You know, when this movie starts off, there's some very interesting things happening here, because when this thing first starts off, you're thinking to yourself, what the heck am I watching here? Is this a horror movie? Because you're getting some strong, like, horror movie vibes. The way the phone is ringing, I mean, obviously the phone is a theme in this film, but it almost reminds you of, like, New Year's Evil, or, you know, kind of the dark cityscapes at night, like William Lustig's Maniac or Don't Answer the Phone. Like, I'm getting these vibes, and I'm like, wait, I thought this was like an adult, like a sex erotica film. What's happening here, right? And we get this dark city synth music. You know, it's like the cityscape at night, you know, possibly New York vibe synth music. Really, really good stuff. But then we also get horror score at the beginning of the movie, and you're like, what is going on? There's a twist at the beginning of the movie also, as it's confronting kind of the clashing of this genre at the beginning of the film of horror and erotica. We have a rape. We have the question of what reality is as part of the twist. And we also have synth 80s rock in here as well. We have the use of shadows on interiors. And we definitely have a vibe in this film sexually of lingerie. Lingerie is a huge element of this film, a huge, in a way, fetish of this film, and possibly of the director, because that's one of the beautiful things about the erotica genre, is that a lot of times you are seeing the director's fetishes or things that they really love or want to see. So it's an interesting personal, you know, making movies in general is personal, but when it comes to erotica, you're getting to see maybe some really intimate things that bring pleasure to the makers of the film. There's in the first sex scene of the film, the guy has a very, like, almost weirdly deformed penis. It looks like there's a huge bump on it. If you see this film, put a comment down below. What is going on there? You know, I've never seen that guy before. I don't know what's going on, but it doesn't look good, whatever's happening there. We also have some jazz 80s city rock in this movie as well, and that's just amazing. In the sex scenes, we have a timeless quality to the sex scenes because the edits don't show you the in-between. You know, you go from position to position to position, but we also spend a great amount of time with the sex scenes, but they're timeless in the edits. And, you know, the first sex scene, you're well aware at this point, after you've been shocked and got a little bit of a twist, you're well aware that, you know, you're in for some awesome sex scenes in the movie. I mean, first and foremost, I got to tell you that, I mean, pretty much every woman in this movie is attractive, and sexually attractive, and It's you know, pure 80s beauty right here, folks. Now, we have a female-run business, and the females enjoy it. A female-run business here, which is very interesting, but it's in a way that the women are really, probably, I mean, you know, they're getting paid, getting the credit card numbers on the phone, but it also seems like they really, really enjoy it and are actually helpful and engaging with their customers. A definite theme in this film is the role of fantasy. The role of fantasy, but done in a way that I would say is atypical. We also have some beautiful scrolling shots in here, like steady cam, you know, shots like Stanley Kubrick entered into an erotica film in various locations. Great scrolling shots. We have this great shot of somebody watching TV by the pool. It's actually Kevin James, the character Kevin James, and from the golden age of X-rated films. He's watching TV by the pool, and it looks like California. I don't know. It's a beautiful day, you know, beautiful view. And you just, like, you can feel the beautiful weather there. I mean, it's just, it's warm, but not too warm. The pool's right there, and you got your TV by the pool. It almost reminds me a bit of the vibes of the teens, the girls hanging out in Slumber Party Massacre 2 by the pool. It really has that kind of vibe. We also have reggae 80s synth rock. Yeah. Awesome music in this film. I mean, the music's amazing. There's an amazing bathtub in this movie. I mean, the bathtub is, like, beautiful. And there's bathtub masturbation as well, female masturbation. We also have one older woman in this movie, and a bit of a taboo family scenario as well. We have lots of different types of fades in this movie, fades to black. We have... you know, kind of your standard fades that are, you know, have some depth as they move from scene to scene. But we also have like a wavy fade as well in here. So definitely some great cinematography and editing. Powerful. There's a crazy scene in this movie that's actually really powerfully done for an X-rated film. It's a powerful, like power-driven 80s rock guitar with a penis hanging blowjob shot from behind the guy, penis hanging, girl erupting from the bathtub to meet his penis. It's like powerfully done in a way that like Goblin uses their music for an Argento film. I mean, seriously, it was just freaking crazy. The music is very hard hitting in this film and very powerful in this film. Very powerful. That's what I want to say. We have sex by the pool. Fantasy and reality, as I mentioned before, are definitely themes, and the real question is, when do they cross over, and can they cross over, and what are the side effects of that? We also have like the movie Clue with Tim Curry. We also have Clue-like jovial mystery music in this film as well. Definitely. In the storyline, the use of men's magazines, and that I'll revisit a bit later in a couple more minutes in this video. We have two thick, curvy, big-breasted girls in a lesbian scene, and also in a two girls, one guy scene as a guy comes in. It's probably like my favorite scene in the entire film. I mean, we have synth 80s, pure synth 80s during this one sex scene. We got some voiceover, which is crossing from reality to fantasy. 80s girl shorts. The movie's bright. You know, you're seeing their kind of creamy skin. The girls have their shoes on, you know, 80s shoes. We have oral sex in this film, men and women both throughout the movie. We have dream slow motion, also some like foggy dream cinematography or edits. We have the element of voyeurism in this movie. Lots of undressing. I said there was lingerie. Lots of undressing in this film, especially panties from behind. Panties getting pulled over the butts. There's lots of butts, tan lines. There's the scene of face sitting. I mean, it's wild. There's sex on a desk. Lots of dirty talk in this film, especially in the last sex scene of the movie. It's outrageous. We also have some well-known people, Kitten Navidad and Becky Savage, but for the most part, it's really interesting that there were a lot of unknowns to me in this film. You know, I had some knowns with some guys and stuff like that, but for the most part, the girls were unknown to me. Really, really unknown. I believe that one of the girls was a penthouse pet or something, and this might have been her first film. I'm not sure, but you can see that in the trailer as a special feature. But filled with unknowns in this movie, and I love that. And there's just this, and like I said, all the girls looked amazing in this movie, body-wise, everything, their vibes, their sexual vibes. There's wild angles in this movie as well, folks. I have to tell you, there are definite wild angles in this movie. Acrobatic, underneath angles, and I gotta tell you, sometimes I always wonder, like, you know, where the cameraman is in sexploitation, X-rated cinema, all of it. We also have jammy 80s jazz in this movie. Lush homes, lush, like people's homes. These are real locations, probably the producers. Inside and out, just lush environments. We have feathered hair, kind of this guitar-driven, dreamy music, the music of dreams, the music of romantic nights and emotions intertwining, and fantasies fulfilled, but also longing in your fantasies, a longing even after they're fulfilled. We have masturbation, lesbian phone fantasies, and I have to tell you, folks, yes, lesbian phone sex, I have to tell you, this movie takes phone sex literally. You will see an antique, beautiful phone go where no phone has gone before, at least that I've seen. So very, very unique and outrageous and very, very well done. Also, the idea of using men's sex magazines, porn, as a sex manual is a theme in this film, to virgins, a virgin young couple. We have weird voiceovers in this film, and I don't know, at one point, Kevin James by the pool near the beginning of the film that I was talking about, I kind of heard his real voice, but then there was a voice on top of it too. So interesting use of maybe, you know, in the ADR or whatever. It's very interesting with the voiceovers. We also have the element of using kind of adult services like adult phone lines, phone sex lines, for sexual instructions for a virgin couple. That was very, very erotic and interesting as, you know, the phone sex line is on speakerphone and instructing this young couple. You know, virginity is broken. Cherries are broken from this young teenage couple. We have blondes in this film. We have strawberry blondes and we have brunettes, and they all look amazing. And even for people who like their women a little bit older, you do have a stepmom in the film as well, who has a great body. And, you know, it just really reminds you that nowadays you wouldn't have older women, and you know, in a film with younger women, unless it was like a fetish thing. But, you know, now it's just like, this is just older women, this is just younger girls. Back in the day here, in the 80s, 70s, it was all mixed together. Like that one actress, Aunt Peg, who started her career, I believe, at age 39, who's in the film, you know, Pretty Peaches and many other things. She's not in this one, though, but you can look her up. Aunt Peg was what she was known as. We really spend time sexually in the sex scenes. And while the edits are timeless, I really appreciate spending time, like you know, where, you know, sex is the substance. And you really get to spend time in these great sex scenes. And, you know, Carlos Tobalina probably takes the cake, though, for the longest sex scenes, and it's just great. We have 80s romantic, sleazy jazz elevator type music, and it's just beautiful. We have great foot shots for all the people that love women's feet. We have some fades to black, as I mentioned. We have neatly trimmed pubes on all the girls. We even have country music at a bar. Whoa. And here's some great quotes. And I might have missed a word, so maybe, you know, loose, but fantasy come true. And also this one is really, really special. It says, we've made love time after time, but never met, you know, face to face. Very, very cool quote, and really kind of an interesting element of what a blind date could be in relation to fantasies and in relation to meeting in a way that was not face-to-face, but meeting in fantasy. And maybe to the modern day in 2017, maybe, you know, that's what people do on, you know, using the internet. This is a great scene. First off, Herschel Savage is in here, and he's probably one of my favorite male actors in the X-rated cinema from the Golden Age. He's just amazing. He does so many different things, like the Blue Ice that I looked at on this page, but he's just such a great actor. He always just owns his roles, whatever he's doing, and they're always polar opposites. And he just like owns his dialogue and everything. But I will tell you that he is just really... he's in the bar, and he's great. He's got a carnation in his pocket, like Keanu Reeves in The Night Before, which I looked at on this YouTube page with Lori Loughlin. But look at the girls at the bar watching the couple meeting there. I just love their expressions. They just look they're funny. They're so cool. This was an interesting sex scene where a couple is actually having phone sex in front of each other, with each other. That was very interesting. We have 80s funk rock jazz. Also, in lots of the scenes, you're not just going to see the vagina, you're also going to see the vagina a little bit internally, a little bit open. So, you know, get ready for that as well. Sex on an apartment couch at night. Or maybe it's a lush home. Don't know. But it's a bachelor pad of sorts. And there's great vibes in this movie. I love apartments. I love bachelor pads. I love the city at night. I love hotels. Just that, you know, living alone couch. 80s lamps, 80s lights, 80s furniture. You know, the night is adventure. There is an insane, and it's in the trailer for the film, there is an insane slow motion cum shot that freeze frames in the air. And I seriously, all I got to say is it's completely out of control, and I've never seen anything like it. It's insanity. At the end of the film, we have some 80s Michael McDonald 80s pop sounding a song there. We have red credits at the end, and look at some of the names in the credits, because a lot of times it's very obviously an alias, you know, for people that were working on these films, which a lot of times were pretty damn illegal for the time. And at the beginning of the film, it said that all the original music was done by a band called Platinum Black. Could be a band, a person, don't know. But I gotta tell you, unbelievable job of powerful music throughout the entire film, Let's Talk Sex. I mean, the music, you heard all the different variations that I spoke of. Unbelievable stuff, Platinum Black, whoever you are. This was Let's Talk Sex from 1983. I got to tell you, folks, loved it. Thank you so much. There it is. Wait, there it is. There it is. And that girl's in the film. I think she's in the first sex scene, actually. Thank you so much for watching the 10 Room Bizarro, where I talk about films that I believe need to be talked about more, like Let's Talk Sex. Thank you, and good night.